Let's go. 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 Let's go.
You know the frequency, yeah. You know the frequency. Come on. You know the frequency, yeah. You know the frequency.
I've been upgrading my frequency. I've been protecting my energy. I've been upgrading my frequency. No matter what, I protect my energy.
We off the grid.
Yeah, we are back. We are back with another episode of the Frequency Live. I'm your host, B. Cotter.
I'm Charlie P.
And it's just me and Ty today.
Shit, Batman and Robin.
That's it, Batman and Robin. Here we go. Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. Charlie, what's going on, Charlie?
Same old stuff, man. You know, this is go home, go to work, go back home. Check out the podcast, check out basketball, my Celtics, anticipating some good things with the Patriots. That's me.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I'm a simple man,
Simple man. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
No.
We got Derek's on vacation. He's going to visit his parents in Florida. Jasmine had to just take some time away from the show. She got a lot of things going on in her life, so she's not able to come into the Frequency Live like she would want to. So I just want to show my great appreciation for her being on the show and challenging me the way she does.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah. That's how I learned through conversations and communication. And she's not afraid to push back and show her opinion, and I appreciate that in a person. So I want to say thank you to Jasmine for being part of the Frequency Live team.
Yeah, me too. Jasmine, thank you for everything. And you know what? Come back.
Yeah, come back.
It is what it is, man. This show is, I used to love it. Be at home, put it on the big screen, look at you, listen to you, all three of you go at it. It was nice. Yeah. And that's one thing I like about the WNB1 radio is that we have some great clashes that are really, really entertaining. I like watching, I listen, especially when I was at home, just checking it all out. And it's good.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, very good. Very good. So thank you to Jasmine. And Derek will be back next week with us. The whole crew will be back this week. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to do a show this week, but there's so much going on in the world today that we need to even discuss. And I wanted to have, I said, something, me and Charlie are available. And I think it'll be a good conversation between Charlie and I about what's going on. And having this, obviously, you're older than I and you have more experience in life. So I like to have conversations with my elders to understand my outlook on life. Am I looking at this in the right way? Am I looking at it the way I should look at it? Because I've been putting this on my own social media. There's a disease called ignorance going on in this world right now.
Yep.
Ignorance. And people do not want to learn. People are staying in their corner. People are staying in their bubble, like-minded people. They're not going out and trying to have different perspectives to come out with a neutral decision. So I felt like, let's do a special Frequency Live show, just Charlie and I, and have a discussion on what's going on in this society, in this world altogether. Let's start off with the Doge situation with Elon Musk. What is your opinion on that? I really want to really dive deep into that.
I think it's a process of elimination, right? And they come up with this concept, this part of the government to eliminate things, right? And so how do you eliminate things? Well, you first put people in charge of everything possible. And that's what Elon is pretty much. He's in charge of so many things. And he's making all kinds of changes. And when they started bringing up he's not an elected official, then there was some pushback. He was saying, they started really thinking about, well, you're not an elected official, so the citizens of America can push back. Politicians of America can push back because you wasn't assigned to do the things that we all agreed upon as a bipartisan, government. So, Doge is something I think is just it's like a fancy sign on the wall, and it can mean everything. The acronym stands for something, right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's going to be doing exactly what it stands for or what it titles itself.
I get the premise of it, but I don't like the way it's being done. Now, when I talk about ignorance, let's talk about ignorance and people just saying that, all right, they want to talk about wasteful spending in the government. Is there wasteful spending? I agree.
Yeah.
Do I know that there is? I don't know. I believe that there is. But at the same time, the way it's being done is putting ourselves in danger. Case in point, this was done before during the Clinton years, but it was strategically done in the Clinton years. They went through it to a fine tooth comb of cutting jobs that was not needed. This is and it was I don't like on the show to be Democratic Republican. I don't like that because when you talk about Dems, you talk about Republicans. It's y'all contribute to the separation of this country. I like just talking about people and the decisions that they're making. And President Clinton at the time went through the whole government process and the government departments and went through it to a fine tooth comb and eliminated jobs that was basically what we're talking about, wasteful spending. And at the end of his administration, we came up with a surplus. That was part of it. Now, what Elon Musk is doing, which I don't agree that he should be the one that should be doing it. Donald Trump is given the power, and he just cutting like it's like the government is Twitter, like it's a company. You can't run a country like a company. A country is not built. We don't pay taxes to gain a profit. We pay taxes so people get paid for provide us with a service. That's what the whole country's all about. Yeah, is there some business ethics of it? Of course there is. There is business ethics. But the way Elon Musk is doing it is a problem. People need to here comes the ignorance of it. A lot of people may not realize, know, or understand Elon Musk has a disorder called Asperger's. What is Asperger's? It's a form of autism. A form of autism that cannot feel empathy. So you have a person who doesn't feel empathy making decisions for the government and the people that's working for the government and cutting jobs. He doesn't care, ladies and gentlemen.
No, he doesn't. Do you think he's a scapegoat?
No. I think that him and Trump have the same type of mindset. I think they have that millionaire, billionaire mindset. I spoke on this on off air. I spoke about this with a lot of friends. In my personal opinion, the more money that you have, the less I'm going to trust you. We are human beings. And a lot of people say, why would Elon Musk try to influence the government or anything else in this position to make money when he has billions of dollars? That's the whole point.
Yeah.
If you have 1 billion, you're gonna want 2 billion. If you have 2 billion, you're gonna want to have 3 billion. Because what comes with money? Power. What comes with power? The major influence. We as human beings, if you have that money and power and the influence, that's like a dopamine hit. You know, you're going to want that. And if you think a person who is the richest man in the world not going to want that, let's give an example. People are not liking what he's doing. And what happened because they didn't like what he's doing? His Tesla stock went down. What was their reaction? They didn't pay attention to the people that created the stock.
Mm-hmm.
They paid attention to the stock. So they started selling, trying to do an infomercial on the White House lawn to help Elon Musk get the stock back up. This is the richest man in the world.
Yeah.
Even though the stock is affecting people's retirement, people's money that they're making, we don't worry about that. We're not trying to influence that. We're still worried about the richest man in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Even though his stock went down, he'll be okay.
Yeah.
But you was more worried about it. They're showing you who they are. Because, let's worry about Elon Musk's stock instead of the stock market is going down, that people's 401k is going down, their retirement is going down. They're not going to be able to do, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It shows you what their priorities are, and people are still trying to justify it. I don't know. What do you think about that, Charlie?
Well, there's something totally wrong. We just talked about it just a few minutes ago about, the stocks and everything. His brother said, I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I want my money. And regardless of you, Elon and him are brothers, but he said, nope, time for me to get my money and run.
Yep.
And he did. That's a telltale sign when the family is vacating your business or vacating your name, your Tesla name,
Mm-hmm.
And he took off, and he definitely said, no, I'm out of here. That's we as Americans, we're not paying attention to that. You should pay attention to what his own family is doing, and they're fleeing. They're fleeing from Tesla, and I recommend that everybody else do the same thing, because that's another guy that's probably a millionaire, right? He has several companies. He's got the his brother has drones. He's a drone company, makes millions of dollars off of that. So he's a millionaire on his own, and so he'll be okay too. But I just think that Elon knew what he was doing. Donald Trump knew what he was doing by getting together and getting to bed together to do what they had to. And one of the things that Donald Trump needed to do is have an influence on during the political campaign, and he needed money for it. As it was, you're going to lose $500 million on that the New York case,
Yep.
So, and he couldn't even come up with that. So Elon was a man that was going to be able to throw money around all over the country and promote Donald Trump, or promote the Republican Party, to put them in place where they are the majority in all three places.
And that's where I have also issue. It's funny where this whole thing with these, because I feel like, because I don't want to say the Republican Party, there's a MAGA Republican, then there's a Republican.
Yeah, good guy.
Okay, there's a separate thing, and the MAGA Republicans are, in my opinion, full of conspiracy theorists.
Yeah,
and they always talk about the deep state. The deep state. Okay, let's have this conversation, Charlie. Let's talk the deep state. All right, because you got to really critically think about what people are saying. So to have a deep state, if there's such a thing,
yep,
you need finances, right?
Yes.
You need finances. Really look at the people who are supporting MAGA type policies and MAGA type things. There's a lot of people with money, right? That means there's a lot of money. That means you have a lot of influence in finances to finance a deep state. It's not poor people, so they're literally hiding in plain sight because we're so enamored with money. That's my opinion. If there is a deep state, you're looking at it right in front of you, because I'm telling you, most of the people that are MAGA supporters, it's all about geared towards money. There's either the poor who are ignorant and they think that to become millionaires, they want money, or it's the filthy rich who want to make more money and so they have more influence. The in between are the people who are basically make this country move are losing out. And it's being very hypocritical in my opinion.
They have established, and I'm this administration has established to light up the whole world. We grew up with the shot, the sh- the biggest shot around the world, right?
Mhm.
Biggest. This is the first time that this country has lit up the world on every single continent. When has that happened other than maybe World War II, World War One?
Mhm.
This country has definitely lit up the world. There's more protests than every single continent. Um, when was countries in Europe really kind of boycotting America? It really
Mhm.
wasn't happening. I've never seen it really, other than a few things here or there, but nothing as extent as from the East Coast to the West Coast of Europe. They're boycotting, they're protesting, they're having parades, as you see on the social media. It's all over the place.
Mhm.
And the one thing that people would say, is that true? Is that true? Of course, it's true. There's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people out there parading and protesting this administration based on the things that they're doing, from the Ukraine war to their companionship, as I call it, with Russia. And it's a companionship. There's no way that you don't hear anything from Putin. Nothing from Russian media, nothing, not that they're going to put it out there, but you don't see anything. The British and United Kingdom is in and out of Russia on a constant basis.
Mhm.
When do you see or hear anything? You don't. So, but we're lighting up the world, and I think uh, before this summer, things are going to get a little crazy.
I believe that, and I said this before, that I think by the end of next year, no later than end of next year, it could happen sooner, that we're going to be in a recession. And within that recession, a year into that recession, Trump is going to use that recession not to leave office, which may be the beginning of a civil war. I say it's the beginning of a civil war in 3 years. What that civil war will look like, I don't know. But I think it will be a civil war. You see a lot of people, like you said, protesting on what they are doing. I think this administration is very hypocritical. I seen programs where they talked about the Latin people voted for him, and those same Latin people who voted them are worried about their families and the workers that work for them being deported. And they were asked a question. He told you that he's going to do that. And they actually believe that, well, I thought he was going to pay attention more to the economy than that.
It's been years since he's been saying this.
Yes. But that's ignorance, Charlie.
Yeah.
That's that again. That so he's telling you this, but you're not listening, and you're voting because it's like he's telling you what you want to hear. I hate the fact that when you're trying to have a logical discussion about important stuff, like the five stuff like education, the economy, um, housing, healthcare, things of that nature, and people want to bring up transgender. Like, what does transgender got to do with anything? Do I like it? What's going on? If it's going on in the sports and in the bathrooms, no. But literally, there's more measles cases than transgender issues going on.
Transgender is on the base of the triangle of what is, as you talked about. Transgender is on the base. It's on the very bottom issue that this country should be talking about, for all the reasons you talked about: education, healthcare. Those are all things that are top tier stuff. As far as transgender and all that issue, It is. It's on the base of base about things that you can talk about and discuss and resolve and come up with something. It shouldn't be something that's thrown out there. This is we're going to have a debate, and this is the debate we're going to talk about: transgender uh, men or women playing in sports. Um, Sports is entertainment. Are we actually putting entertainment on the forefront of? Is that something that we should be talking about when we have homeless people?
This is
We
where
have teachers getting let go.
this
We have uh, daycare facilities closing down, cutting. Where vouchers are not given to a single parent anymore. Things are getting cut left and right. Um, in this city, uh, fuel assistance, all that stuff's going down. It's
because you're
dwindling
worried
down to
about
zero.
transgenders using the bathroom. I don't know about you, Charlie. I haven't heard any stories around here about that stuff. And if there is, it's very like it's just one maybe out of a million. That's not an issue. But I heard a lot of stories where people are losing their jobs. People can't afford housing. People can't afford health care. The economy, all this other stuff. I heard a lot of stories about that. But nobody does. He feeds into your feelings.
Mhm.
Even with the border situation. The border situation, I had a debate with someone where they still believe that, oh, they let them come through the border so they get the votes. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're an illegal immigrant, and we can use Google, if you're a legal immigrant, you can't vote. Matter of fact, you can be a legal immigrant and you cannot vote. You need to be a U.S. citizen to be able to vote. Google it, please. Get the information, not just don't whatever you get from what Trump and his administration tells you. It goes and they talk about this border situation that what pisses me off. We need to start looking at ourselves, Charlie. We really got to do. People say, okay, they're coming over the border. Stop them coming over here. So let's help this administration to stop people from coming over here. Know how you can help? Don't hire them. They're coming here for jobs for a better life because they can't get it in their own country. Don't hire them, but we are. Hold people in this country accountable for hiring illegal immigrants, but they don't want to because it's cheaper labor. That's another form of slavery. This country was built off of cheap labor or free labor. So we need to hold ourselves accountable. If there's no jobs here, why would they come?
Mhm.
They're going to have the same life here than they did in their own country.
Yep.
Then they say, oh, there's drugs coming over. How about this, Americans? Stop doing drugs.
Mhm.
It's supply and demand. If there is no demand, there is no supply.
Yeah. And drugs are part of our society, and it's going to stay here. The war on drugs was a laughable thing in my eyes. You just can't defeat it. And it's a lot of people's handicaps. It's a lot of people's uh, fall guy or fall girl. It's always something that they're gonna fall on, and for personal reasons, anything. But drugs are here. And as far as fentanyl, I talk about every week.
A couple questions on fentanyl.
I talk about it every week, and yeah, it was coming over the border, but there's more and more laboratories within the United States
Mm-hmm.
that they're producing 90,000 pills an hour. There's so many different ways that they're bringing making the fentanyl right here within the country.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you going to combat that? You can't combat, and you're not going to be able to combat it in this country because all the personnel from every different government agency, law enforcement, etc., is getting cut. People getting fired. So how are you going to go over? How are you going to look and investigate drugs, drug cartels when you don't have the manpower? Cities and towns within the country are short all over the place. exams, police exams, whether it's state or local, they're down to its lowest than it's been in years, in almost uh, 20, 30 years. It's been down to its lowest. It's never been that. It's always been the go-to. If you wanted a job, you go civil service. If you wanted to be on the state police, you try local police first and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's my brother, but I cannot talk to you, bro. So, anyways, so it's kind of crazy. Um, fentanyl. You wanted to talk about it. What can I? I'll try to give you the best
See,
answers I can.
because this fentanyl thing that people are making a big deal about, like I'm going deep into it. Do we remember the crack cocaine era?
Yeah.
All right, that was very bad. That was during the Reagan years. If I'm making that around
Reagan.
that time.
Yep.
All right,
Uh,
it
yeah.
was around
Yeah.
the Reagan
80s,
years.
80s into the 90s. So Reagan was in around 84. So
Reagan into the first Bush,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
we had that "Just Say No"
Hmm.
campaign with Nancy Reagan and stuff, and they were trying to just say no to drugs and everything like that. They weren't worried about the border like the way they are now back then, where it was so
Yeah.
now fentanyl. Now look, give me an example of a fentanyl drug. What is a fentanyl drug?
Fentanyl drug is actually every single drug on the market because fentanyl is laced on everything.
Okay.
And fentanyl is now the number one killer of people between between 18 years old to 45.
Mm.
It's the number one killer
Now,
compared to everything else.
now,
Fentanyl is the one.
so let me ask you this. I need an honest answer from you, Charlie.
Yep.
Why is fentanyl? It's been in every drug for many years, right?
Well, it's starting to get laced with everything.
Okay.
Now. Whether you know it or not, it's just.
Is it because of the drugs that Caucasians are using that is making it a thing? Because it's almost like when you have a big drug problem, like in Cape Cod, where there's not as many minorities, now it's a big deal.
Oh, that's what they did. That was the saying back when with crack. It was in the ghettos. It was in the urban areas. So it wasn't. The easiest thing is, well, they're using drug. It's a addict. It's an addiction problem, and the loss of lives was in the urban communities. Once it started venturing off to the suburban areas, now crack became a problem. Or suburban kids started going into the urban areas, and now parents are looking for their kids, can't find them. Along with the fatalities and so on and so forth. Fentanyl is doing the same thing in opioids, but the thing is now it's affecting both communities. And I understand what you're saying because pill poppers were usually that suburban type college student throwing pills down all the time, left and right. But I think it's definitely from a person that smokes weed has a danger of dying. It doesn't take much. It's the tip of a pencil that can kill you when it comes to fentanyl. So, and I try to tell everybody if you have a recreational drug that you're going to use, make sure you go to the dispensary, or you can't cover all the drugs because not all of them are legal. Marijuana is.
Yep.
Pills. There's prescription pills. People are selling prescription pills for a hustle. Don't take. You got to watch out who you're buying it from, who has that hustle because they don't know what's being laced, and you can't look at it. You can't see it. It's possibly everything is being laced. So trying anything from a gummy to anything, you got to watch yourself.
This is the world we're living in. But that's what I'm saying. I think it's hitting certain communities. That's why they're making a big deal about it, and they want to blame it because I'm sure it's coming over the border. But I also like you said, a lot of this stuff is being made inside this country. you know. And so like I want people to understand that, because I believe to fix any problem in this country, you can't do it from the outside in, it's from the inside out. We the people control how this society in this country runs and handles. It's not Mexicans' fault that Americans are not working. You know, I think it's a combination of don't want to work hard anymore, sense of entitlement, and corporations not paying y'all a good fair wage, you know, for a good living wage, you know. And that's our fault. That's our own greed, and that's on our own entitlement. Like I said, if you don't want Mexicans to or any other people coming in this country taking away your jobs, don't hire them, because especially if they're illegal. But we Americans who are so America are hiring these cheap labor people. I want to cheap labor. That's wrong to say. People that will work for a cheaper.
Yeah, because any money they make here is 100 times better than what they were doing, you know, in the countries in South America, Mexico. You know, the money is crazy. You know,
they send $100 to like Colombia. It's 4 to 5 to 1.
Yeah.
So they give $100, they actually got $500.
Yeah.
You know, that will last a long time. Like I had, like, there's somebody who when I was in when I went away, I asked this person, they were working. They said, I got to sign a contract to work for a commercial company. And I'm like, all right, cool. Says, how much you gonna have to work for? And they were like, I'm gonna work for 1,400,000 CPOs, Colombian pesos. Know how much that is a month? $350.
Wow.
$350 a month.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So imagine, that's why they'll come over this country, make American money, send $100 or $200 there a month. They can still live on what they make, and that family is going to spend $200 a month for them to be able to survive in that country easily.
And it's easy for someone to do. I mean, I would tell all the young people out there, I would tell them all the time, you know, if you're going to go somewhere and you're going to leave the state and go somewhere else, don't worry about it. You're going to go to another state and you're not going to know anybody. All you're going to do is concentrate on working, whether it's getting an education or getting a career. All you're going to think about is doing your job. And that's what immigrants do. They come here and they don't know anybody. So look, all I'm going to do is I'm going to come to work every day. I'm going to show up early. This is all I got to do is make money, and I'm going to do it. And they're very, very successful doing it, you know? So
no, it's crazy. Have you ever got your car wash at Minuteman?
Yeah. And they were victimized, right?
Yep. And I heard, ISIS was at Minuteman. Anybody got their car washed at Minuteman Car Wash? Or what street is that? I think it's Nauset Street.
Purchase and Nauset.
Yeah, Purchase and Nauset. Minuteman, good car wash that's been there for years. I mean, I remember getting my dad's car washed there. That's how long it's been there. And they, we all know who the people who dry your car and put it through the service and everything like that, shine the tires, make it look good, this and that. Very nice people.
Yep.
Just there every day, working every day. And ICE was there, and I think that they did take a couple of people. The other people had their papers. But this is what they're doing. I don't think these people there that are working every single day are criminals.
No, I've believe it or not, mistakenly I left my wallet in the car. It was never touched. It was never touched. Phones, anything. I had no problem going through that place, that good business, and it's sad to see that they're victimized. But any place in Massachusetts, in New England, is going to get feel the wrath of ICE, because they, you know what, it's a blue state, and so
it's now. Let's further get deep in this conversation. Is the fact that, okay, we have an issue with how the federal government is being run, and people want to combine it with how the state of Massachusetts is being run. That's two different conversations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you're having two different conversations that, all right, do I agree how Massachusetts is being run? No.
Yeah.
Not at all. I think that Massachusetts is charging for everything. I think that there is a lot of wasteful spending in the state versus maybe federally, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think that the wasteful spending is not the entry level jobs. Okay. I think the wasteful spending is in the top entry jobs. Those are the people, the one that's making the big money, are not doing their jobs.
I agree.
You know, and it's trickling down to a point where they're not holding other people accountable of their mistakes, of things being done in an efficient way. It's the top people in positions that have power and have power to make decisions are not doing their jobs. And that's where you need to really go through the states individually, strategically, like I would think Clinton would do, versus going it through federally. I don't think you should eliminate the Department of Education, me reallocate it. Maybe when they said defund the police, I don't like that term.
Yeah.
But I think what they meant, and I think that when you hear people like what defund the police means, defund it to refund it and reallocate how the department is being moved, what is being controlled, or is be more efficient in how they do things.
Just sift through it where you see things like where there's 20 supervisors and you may only need 10.
Yes.
Maybe even 5, and start doing things like that.
Yes.
And just sift through it and cut down that way, and but the veterans issues and the veterans being fired and losing their jobs along with the health care is the most alarming thing that I'm seeing. And everyone grew up enjoying the veterans marching in the different parades, or visiting the schools, or telling their war stories. And if you didn't like it, why you probably truly wasn't a patriot, as they say.
No.
And
it's almost like, remember when Colin Kaepernick took a knee?
Yeah, that was
and it's disrespectful to the military.
People know how people look.
Yeah.
Tense over that.
You're like, oh, the disrespecting him. Even though a military war veteran gave him the advice to do that, because that's what other military people do, to to honor someone's the military partner's death.
Yeah,
they go to a knee, and and it's when you pray, what do? You go to a knee. But it was so disrespectful because he did it during their national anthem. But then this person, Donald Trump, hijacked that and made it into a martyr, where it was like he's disrespecting the country. People, again, here's your ignorance. Donald Trump wanted to be an NFL owner at one point. And and the owners of the NFL didn't want him to be an owner, so they blacklisted him, basically. Don't you think maybe he hijacked that to try to get in his good graces of those other billionaires and millionaires, to maybe own an NFL franchise? You know what I'm saying? To stop Colin Kaepernick doing that, getting the light off of the NFL for that thing. People don't look that deep, and I think that's what it was. Because there was no reason for him. We talk about free speech, right?
Yeah.
Why can't he express himself? He did free speech when he incited the riot of January 6th. That's okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna cite a riot over an election that you actually lost.
And he knew he lost, right?
Yeah, you knew he lost.
He admitted in so many interviews,
And he said, "Oh, well, he didn't lose." But then again, what he's doing with there's a Palestinian Indian protester, a leader of the protest, where he was protesting against the war of Israel and Hamas. And he's basically saying he's inciting riots, or he's citing other stuff. Donald Trump, didn't you do the same thing in the same way that he did? That you incited a riot in the Capitol by using the same type of words that he's using, but you want to use the for free speech?
See,
but yeah, you got him. You're arresting him for the exact same thing that you did.
The Palestinian gentleman. What was it? It's a small number. Maybe 11 people got arrested.
Yep.
You know, Trump voiced his opinion, and 1,600 people got arrested, which is probably a third of the people that should have been arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been well over 3,000.
Yes.
But they don't practice what they preach every single day.
Hypocritical.
And I always wait. I wait when there's a decision made by this administration. I give it about 4 or 5 days. And then he's going to backtrack and change his mind. And he does all the time. Oh, we're going to do tariffs. We're negotiating. And you find out what his negotiation was exactly what Biden put on the table a little while ago, you know? So.
I'm going to get this wire. Hold on. Yeah. I want to play it. Excuse right here.
Here we go.
Here we go. I want to play like there's a skit because that's a good segue. There was a skit. I think it was. I forgot it was some TV talk show, and it's fun. It's funny. It's like because I love comedy because comedy, for something to be funny, it has to have some truth to it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just have something funny and it not possibly could happen. It got to have some truth to it. You know, is there some embellishment involved, but to make it funny? But yes, but it needs to have some truth to it. That's why I love comedy, because comedy, I think a lot of comedians need to go into politics, especially in this climate, and because they have the wit to really bring out the message to people. So let me hold on 1 second. I want to play this and see what you think about this. 1 second.
So let me see if I understand that. You're saying when the economy is good under Biden, Trump gets the credit, but when the economy is bad under Trump, Biden gets the blame. What you're saying is that the stock market is falling under Trump because Trump inherited a bad economy from Biden, but when Biden was president, the economy was so good, Trump deserved credit for it. I just want to understand. So when the stock market is rising, it's because investors think Trump is about to become president. But then when Trump does become president, the stock market falls because the economy under Biden was so bad that the stock market was rising because investors were hoping Trump would take over. The stock market would fall because the Biden economy was bad when Trump took credit. Is that what you're saying? Is that what? Just tell me. Is that what you're saying? Woo, time to dance. And guess what, guys? Guess what? Now that the stock market is falling, Donald Trump is saying, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't care about the stock market so much.
You said, look, we're going to have a disruption, but we're okay with that. Is that what you meant? The stock market going down was the disruption? What other disruption were you alluding to?
Look, what I have to do is build a strong country. You can't really watch the stock market.
You can't really watch the stock. That's all you've talked about for a year. What do you want us to watch instead? Maria, it's a mistake to watch the stock market when you should be watching Severance. What a show. It's a great show. It's the only show Melania and I watch together. If I get even one episode ahead of her, she looks so mad, which is saying a lot because she always looks a little bit mad. But we love the Severance and we love Lumen Industries. They're doing such great work over at Lumen. Not getting enough credit for it.
What do you think about that?
Oh, there is a lot of truth in what they're saying. And you know what? I love the Daily Show because they're so critical and on point. Regardless who the president is, they were always on point with everything that they come up with, and it's laughable. It's laughable, but it's also it's a lot of truth in it. So I seen that skit. I believe I seen it on Instagram. So yeah, there's a lot of truth in it, and he flip-flops all over the place, you know. What was O'Reilly had the O'Reilly factor, spin. I forget spin zone, whatever
yeah, the
it
spin
was.
zone.
You know, Donald Trump would be good on that. You know, he would really be good on that.
it's a lot, and I understand the like. I like to just give a message to the people out there who like, I don't know if what my thoughts even have any influence on anybody, but there's a thing that people want to say. I'm so exhausted with politics, and I completely understand that. But that's what they're banking on, for you to be so exhausted that you don't care, that you don't participate into the process. And they're also baiting on people's ignorance not to do their due diligence and really find out what's facts and what's not. And I think this is how that person got into president, got to be the president. It's almost scary because when you look at people that support Trump, we are really finding out in our own personal experience how you can be radicalized.
Mhm. Yeah.
This is how people get radicalized if Islamic or that they radicalize like Americans and everything. We're actually experiencing, because these Trump supporters like actually believe this stuff. Like they still believe that people are coming over the border and be able to vote.
And it's just the Pied Piper, If he was singing and leading you, you're gonna follow that path, and even if it leads to falling off the cliff, because all they're doing is on a single file marching along, and then they're hearing the music because everybody ahead of them singing, and but they're not hearing the cries when they fall off the cliff.
Yeah,
they're just gonna keep going
keep on
until
going.
it happens. I just, I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing. I'm still gonna be vocal. I do sometimes just stop, um, and take a deep breath, just inhale, exhale, and then I'll go again. Sometimes I need a break or two, for a day or two, and just to get away. But like you said, you cannot quit because there's so many different politicians that are fighting. Uh, you know, Jeffries, he's fighting every single day. AOC's fighting. It just
Jasmine Crockett is my girl. Jasmine Crockett is my
she's a
girl.
lawyer, and they keep doubting her. She's
Yeah,
a phenomenal lawyer.
My ticket, Charlie, is Jasmine Crockett and Pete Buttigieg as for resident vice president.
Oh,
That'll be a good. It hits the whole diverse of America,
yeah.
and they're very intelligent, young, and very articulate and outspoken, that they get able to put out the message in a way that we can understand, but also educate us at the same time.
Yeah.
I love Jasmine Crockett. Like, oh, why she got to talk the way she got to talk? She's doing that purposely. It's not like she's a classless person. She knows what she's doing. Yeah,
Texas doing this.
Yes.
Could you imagine that?
Yes. It's like, and it's crazy because, especially with these Republican states where they are the least educated. It's a fact. I'm not making fun of them. They are the poorest.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fact. You want to vote. I hate using Republic, but you want to vote Republican and not Democrat. The Democratic states are the most richest. That's where the country's run. There's a reason why.
Yeah.
But these are the states that don't pay maybe state taxes. Most of them don't pay state taxes. So you're not getting the service that you deserve. The household wages, and these people, you could Google it. I'm just not putting out saying things for you to believe, to get your information from me. You can Google this. The poor states are the Republican states. The least educated states are the Republican states, but those are the biggest states that had the most electoral votes.
Yeah.
Even though they have less amount of people than Democratic states. Democratic states got more people because Democratic states are with us. So if these senators are representing the people, you would think that the richest states, which are the Democratic states, will have more electoral votes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that.
No, and it's the only reason why he was elected, and but it's one of the reasons why,
Mm-hmm.
The other ones is we talked about being ignorant and not understanding the truth behind his grifting and everything else that he's a part of. And here it is, just a few months in his campaign, and they're seeing the lies after lies after lies, but very, very quickly, Project 2025 was enacted. Everything that was on that list is pretty much
is happening.
Yeah.
Remember, he said that. Oh, he said that he'll know nothing about it. But then, as soon as he gets in office, he's implementing everything that was in Project 25. Like, that's ignorance for you to believe that he wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
People were showing you and telling you he's hiding in plain sight, and it's scary. And it's also the fact that he knows that the things that he's doing, he can't do because the courts are going to stop him.
Yeah.
He's going to push things to the Supreme Court, where he has the slight advantage because most of it's conservative 6-3.
Yeah.
He knows that.
And it's changing.
And he put 3 of those judges on their seats.
Yeah.
So he has their loyalty, so to speak. He knows what he's doing. He knows he's going to get stopped on the lower courts, but he has the option to push it to the Supreme Court, which will more or less side with him because, hey, I put you on the seat. You have to show some loyalty to me. He talks a lot about that.
Yeah. He was. What was it? I can never remember his name, but the Supreme Court justice, and he went up to him and he said, I'll never forget what you did for me. And
he said that.
Yeah, and he said it. He knows he's mic'd up. He knows they're all mic'd up. But he just wanted to publicly let it known. And what he has on all of them, it's probably a lot. Phone call conversations, but I don't think all that stuff would come out because all it would show is enough where you would think treason, by all of them. If you started, where they're negotiating and plotting how they're going to do different things, it all goes back to how they sabotage government proceedings, and to me that's treason. So, but I think the Democrats understanding that it's a slow process, and they have to do whatever they can this year, and then next year is the 2026 is real important.
I believe the Democrats got to have a strategy. They got to change their strategy. We need to understand. No, the Democrats need to understand that you got to constantly be in front of that camera every day.
Yeah,
that's what you notice. Trump is in front of that camera. He's in that camera every day. I'm like, is he governing? Is he doing anything? But he's in front of that camera. It's a marketing thing every day. It's marketing one-on-one. Well, he's in front of that desk. You don't see no papers, no nothing. I'm like, yo, are you doing anything?
Yeah,
it's a prop, and it's almost like a movie prop where he sit there and he's gonna ask me questions, and he's gonna be always ahead of the narrative every single day. Republicans, Democrats, every time that he's doing that, you need to be in front of that camera too, in multiple different outlets in different ways, because people don't read anymore. If you think they're going to read or listen to logics, you need to have a lot of panels every day and have people go back and forth and have conversations and people watch, because this is what people do. We love our sports. We love watching people talk about sports. Use that same type of strategy and formula in politics. That's how people learn. Yeah. People are not going to sit there. You got too many people working 11-hour days or 2 different jobs or they don't have time to sit there and read anymore because the cost of living is so high that you don't got time to really take back some time for yourself. So you have to learn on the go. What's the best way? get in front of that, get in their ear.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of people have talk shows that's on TV, but they turned it into podcasts on so people can listen to. You know, you have to do that. You have to get in that space so people can multitask and listen and learn as they go, as they take care of themselves. So it's all about messaging. I want to get into this tariffs thing. Like people talking about, well, all these countries are stealing from us, and I don't understand how you come up through that logic. I know because that's what he's saying. We are the richest country in this world. If these people are stealing from us, we're doing pretty good, right? It shows you how much money's out there.
And could you imagine? We're getting a lot of electricity from Canada.
Yes.
Why is that? Why is that? Because you know what, the government is somewhere privately. That was the best thing to do. Whether it was greasing some of your friends' palms or something, but that was something that America decided that guess what? The electricity is going to be provided through Canada, and that's we're going to do it that way, right? So why wouldn't that be here done here? Like you said, we have a lot of resources, the richest country in the world. Why ain't we providing electricity for our own states? Texas has their own little grid. They have their own grid. For what reason? Because they were a little vain and selfish, and they said, "Look, we're Texas. We're gonna have our own grid. If the power goes out all over the country, we're gonna be safe."
No, what it is, Charlie, too, and I think we need to understand this. And I was listening to a show. Know how they was talking about he wants to bring manufacturing jobs back over here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there's a lot of variables to that statement and that question. First of all, we may not have the infrastructure to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to understand that we may not have the infrastructure to do that. Manufacturing jobs is becoming obsolete because even if they come back to this country, you know who's doing them? Robots.
Mm-hmm.
So there'll be very limited manufacturing jobs available for the American people. So you're dealing with infrastructure where Biden tried to address with his infrastructure policy to create more better infrastructure. So it will help our economy, which will create jobs because you're building infrastructure. I believe when it comes to like Asian people, they know how to do it.
Yeah.
Look at China. China is one of the biggest economies in this country, along beside us. A lot of things come from China. A lot of things are owned by China. Everything like that. Let's really think about it. China has a lot of power, a great economy, such great, has influence on us, Russia, all everyone. But there's no bloodshed from that country. No bloodshed. They never been in any wars, anything. How in the hell they have that good of economy with that much influence and power without any war?
Yeah.
Think about that.
They're all over the place.
They play the long game.
Yeah. They're very patient people. And let me tell you about China, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have a problem just in this local area with the Washington Bridge in Providence. That bridge is costing probably billions of dollars now, maybe millions. Oh, we'll stick with millions, right? No one wants to work it because the state of Rhode Island don't know what they're doing, or they don't pay their contractors. So it's been well over a year that it's been half of what we have. In China, they build a bridge 5 times the length of that in 8 hours. In 8 hours. It's like, got to get a job. You got to get the bridge done, and they're doing it. There's videos all over YouTube, and they come in and with cranes, and
it's all
riveting,
organized very
boom,
well. Yep.
8 hours, bridge done. Next day they show traffic on the bridge. We have a problem in this country with a lot of things, and I don't think China's the problem.
China's not the problem.
Because
they should be.
We go through the studio right now. We're going to see a lot of things that are made in China.
Yeah. Why?
From the blinds to the rug.
Yeah.
Easy.
Why? Now I get it. It's probably cheaper labor.
Yeah.
But if you go to China, which I'm hearing, because I had a conversation with an Uber driver. I just love talking to people that lives outside this country, because a lot of people in this country think that the world is a terrible place outside this country, and it's actually not.
No.
You know, there I asked him, he goes, how is it China to go over there? And I that's one of my bucket list. I want to go to China, Japan. I just love the Asian culture. You know, I'm a little bit Filipino, so maybe that's I have the little interest in it. But China is the safest place you can go.
Yeah.
Our money's 10 to 1, where we can live an extravagant life with the little money that we may get here. We may be millionaires there.
Yeah.
You know, it's 10 to 1. And it's a safe country that, you know, you don't have to worry about violence or anything of that nature. There's something now, it is a communist country. There's certain things I don't agree with, but in the aspect of, well, at least they didn't have to kill people to get what they have in their country. Maybe they have more order, but at the same time, are their citizens okay? They have universal health care.
Yeah.
You know, they have all these things that we do not have, that we have to fight for, and we're actually probably killing each other for, you know, and it's becoming from the haves and have nots. And I pay attention. I love the Asian culture. I think it's a very intelligent culture that you can learn from.
Definitely. I just like a lot of things that they do there. And if you got to go anywhere first, do Japan first.
Japan?
Yep. It's an easier transition. Kind of get you going, you know, learning the culture and everything, and then kind of move over to China. But no matter what, it's going to be a great experience.
Yeah. Like the food.
Yeah, everything.
You know, it's even like, for an example, let's break it down to a more lower level. Why are Asians, you don't see very much obese Asians?
No.
Because you're going to eat good food, but they also got portion control. You know? So it's not filled with those stuff that really can affect you.
Yeah.
You know? So they're not putting bad stuff in your food, so you're not having health problems. So that means there's less people in your universal health care, which is going to cost less, which is going to, you can still invest in your infrastructure, in your society. It's a domino effect.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't understand why can't we as Americans, who is the richest country in the world, that shit, we're doing shit messed up.
Yeah.
And we're still the richest country in the world. And we can't do it that way where we can even make more money. Like, I believe we should have universal health care.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Canada, as their health care is provided to their residents, so their citizens, through their taxes. So it's already taken out, it's already applied, and you know, so there's no cost for them. And it's something we need to think about. They talked about a lot of things coming to this country for its citizens, and you know what? It's all about greed, man.
It's all about
it's greed for a lot of things. Big pharma, you know, billionaires producing, you know, so much things when it comes to, you know, healthcare and pushing pills left and right. So, but the one thing, like with Doge, I would like them to kind of go into big pharma, and you'll see what happens then if they start going in that
Going to
direction.
that, or the insurance companies.
Yeah, there will be. You want to see chaos you want to see something happen
Mm-hmm.
in Congress, in Senate, in the House. Things will start happening then.
Yeah.
Things will
Because
start moving.
the money, the people with the money who have the influence are pulling the strings behind these senators. But people, we need to educate ourselves, because, like, again, we said at the beginning of the show, there's a big disease called ignorance that's becoming an epidemic in this country. And so, like, I'm a kind of person where I don't like I try to read, but I learn through conversations. I learn from listening. I just take in a lot of information that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to listen to both ends and both sides and just comprehend my own opinion. But I get information all different ways. For an example, one of my favorite shows was The West Wing. Now, The West Wing, it was a fictional way, but showing how an administration will work. Yeah. It was based around not the president, even though the president was a character in this program, but it was based around the Secretary of Press, the Chief of Staff, his lawyers, his advisors, and it showed you how the office of the presidency works. The president cannot be in all places. He has to depend on the people that's around him to really implement his policies. Yes. And understand what he wants, because he cannot be in every room every day at every time making every decision. Yes, he's going to make the final decision, going to be the okay, but he has to have the right people around him. Another show that I learned to love when we talked about Big Pharma. Have you ever watched the internship? Is it called the intern? The residency. Mm-hmm. The residents.
I've never seen it, but I know what you're talking
about. So it's based around doctors, right? In the emergency room and not the emergency, just hospital. It deals with the emergency room, surgery, brain surgeon, heart surgery, and all of this. And it deals with a lot of stuff that the doctors have to deal with, as far as Medicare, who they can treat, not treat, why they can't, because they got to worry about the finances and the rules and everything like that. It deals with a lot. Obviously, there's like intimate stories in between, but it deals with a lot as what a heart surgeon got to deal with, what a brain's like. It made me appreciate doctors and people in the medical field so much. Absolutely. How important nurses are. You have your doctor will find out what is wrong with the patient, but that doctor that's finding out what's wrong with the patient is not necessarily the person who's going to be operating on them. He has to depend on that doctor who, this is it. All right, this is what we're going to tackle when we get into surgery. Yeah, it's a team effort.
I was getting ready to say that.
So I'm so enamored with the healthcare system, and it made me think where we have a society of wannabe influencers. I was just in Providence last night, and know they're having the PPAC coming soon, the Influence Awards. I'm like,
oh yeah,
there's the Influence Awards. So people, there is a space for influence. Don't get me wrong, but you would want these doctors, these policemen, these lawyers, these politicians, things of that nature. I was watching Selma a couple of weeks ago, and you're looking at Martin Luther King started the civil rights movement, leading it at 26 years old, 27 years old. Is like, damn. These are young people. Now you look at the average 26, 27 years old. Are they having influence in society like that? Yeah, they have an influence on social media.
Yeah.
Acting stupid. But are they having influence for the good?
Now you look at Dr. King and how young he was. I doubled his age already. So half of my life, that was his whole life. And so Malcolm X, same thing. Young man, did crazy amount of things, right? Heroic things at a very young age. Do we have that now? It was sprinkles of it, right? But those two men and their circle, their group, were so powerful. Millions and millions of people follow them at that age. It's amazing. And
You talk about age, even in movie Selma, there's a congressman who passed away a couple of years ago, John Lewis.
Yep, John Lewis.
You don't realize how young he was back then. He was a teenager.
Yep.
I think he was maybe around 16, maybe 17 years old, that he created his own organization, SNCC, with another that was, in that area of Selma, whatever. This dude, he was 16, 17 years old, heading a big organization of SNCC where Martin Luther King partnered up with him in Selma that help with what was going on down there.
Yeah.
16, 17 years old.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Going to states like Alabama, Mississippi, and standing up strong at that age, it's just crazy. Because you think about it, there's certain places you may not want to go. I may not want to go right now. But it was nothing like the extreme they had back then.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? We can kind of raise our eyebrows, suck our teeth, or get the F out of here to somebody, and we could have been on the next tree, or burnt or anything, or thrown in jail for a little while or a long while. I always say I thank the people of the 50s and 60s into the 70s. I thank those people so much for the life I was able to live and enjoy. And I see this backwards, like it's going backwards, where the hate is something I've seen I seen when I was a real small young kid, where the N-word was real populated or real vocalized. And now I'm hearing it again, and it's coming all the time. It's getting crazy. I see that we're going backwards instead of forward, and
I just want to say, if anyone is commenting on this podcast, can't see the comments for some reason. It's not even popping up. Let me right here, because I'm sure there's a lot of comments for a lot of things we're saying, and right here, and it's not coming up. So we're not ignoring you if you are putting comments on. That the comments are just not working on here, because we would definitely respond to the comments that people are saying. So we'll get that fixed for next show. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, it's not even coming. Looking on the chat, it's not even coming on. So if anyone's commenting, we're sorry, but we'll have for next show. We'll have that all taken care of.
I see some comments on your page, but just supporting what you're saying or I'm saying. So
okay, good.
But
nothing.
Yeah, it's
so it's it like a lot of people. I like when it comes to politics again, they're tired of it or whatever, and I don't like when people say, "I just don't want to argue." Mm-hmm. Arguing and fighting is two different things for me. You can argue, you can debate, and you can have a healthy debate, a healthy argument. Mm-hmm. Fighting, you can't. All right, that's when you start getting personal. That's fighting.
Yeah.
But you can argue your point of view. And people thought, I don't want to argue. I'm exhausted. And I look back on this, where we just spoke about Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, John Lewis, and all those people. What if Martin Luther King didn't want to argue?
Yeah.
What would happen to society? What if he stopped arguing? What if Malcolm X didn't want to argue? What if John Lewis didn't want to argue? Mm-hmm. What if someone like Muhammad Ali didn't want to argue?
Yeah.
Where would we be as a country? You know what I'm saying? But that's what shows you the mindset back then versus now. You're living in the world in a safe space like of America because of those people like Martin Luther King, like John F. Kennedy, like Robert F. Kennedy, like Malcolm X, like John Lewis, and all the other peoples before and after them. They argued, and now people are so entitled. You're living in a safe space of America. You don't know what it really feels like for someone to attack on your own soil.
Yeah.
You don't know where it takes to keep that freedom. You don't want to know where it takes to keep that freedom. There's a lot of things that you may disagree with to have that freedom, to have this safe space, to speak the way you want to speak, to think the way you want to think, and not be afraid of someone else attacking you like they did Ukraine.
I was called delusional because of Ukraine and President and their president, and they were saying he was a hero, and the person was coming at me saying I was delusional, and they were talking about the suit thing that they talked about, him not wearing a suit. So I said, you don't understand. That is a leader. He's leading the military of his country to fight Russia. The guy, at any point, every step he takes, no matter where he goes, there's things that could happen to him. Being assassinated, he has to be comfortable, and be able to flee and cover himself. And I mean, you see it all the time. When people know they're going to go to school to go fight, what do? They wear sneakers, sweats. They get prepared for it. This man, this hero, he's prepared for all situations, no matter where he was. And he got a wild words in the Oval Office. But what I'm getting at is this person called me delusional, and it goes back to the word ignorant and what you're talking about, invading our country. No one's invaded this space. They don't know anybody. Well, this particular person who has his only little stream, and he said I was delusional. And but I didn't respond. I just said, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna leave it alone for now, because I don't want to go back and forth and give him my steam, because he is one of the most stupidest persons in this whole city. And there's countless things that he has done to the politicians, to the mayor, to the city council, to police, to fire, to teachers. He always has something. He's the delusional person, especially when he thinks that people are paying attention to him and listen to him. He's just in the way. But I want to just touch up on, he's never experienced a fight himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Known him since you're a young man, little kid. He's never really, he just always had a loud mouth. Never really got punched in the face, a man punch in the face. Never did that. But he's the one that's influencing people on a daily basis, because he can plug in his computer or put on his video camera and plug around and just throw things out there, and people will believe him. And we got to stop that. We got to do some fact checking all the time.
You do.
Because it's real important. Things are going to get really, really shaky, and it's already is shaky. But
why are we even worried about what someone wears to the White House? Why that even being mentioned? The way he was talked to, he was challenged, and he came back in a respectful way. He's like, what kind of diplomacy are you talking about?
Yeah.
Because my experience with Putin, before you, during you in your first administration, we had a deal, and he reneged. Yeah. So what kind of diplomacy? And I think J.D. Vance copped an attitude because he couldn't explain it.
Yeah, he was. When you are getting out, when you when the debate isn't in your favor anymore, the first thing that person wants to do is yell, scream, and
or shame you personally.
yeah, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
Bullies do it all the time, right? So they were out of place, and the intellect, his intellect is very, very, Galinsky, right? I always mispronounce it. Well, his intellect is far greater than any of those three guys.
They're a bunch of fools.
Yeah.
It's even when he was like, first of all, Trump was touching him.
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
No, you can't.
Yeah, because like if that was any other regular person, get your hands off of me. Who the fuck are you? Number one. Number two is he was like, you don't have all the cards. You don't have all the cards. Now understand, this is the second thing. I'm not playing cards. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, like he goes, you're not gonna win, and he's based. I'm not gonna win. He goes, yeah, I heard that Trump, because Putin said in the beginning of this war, I'm gonna beat him in 3 days. It's been 3 years.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying. Goes, yeah, I heard this before. I'm gonna lose in 3 days. That he was giving the same sarcastic remark in return. He was speaking the same type of manner. It's like, yeah, okay, Trump. He's like, okay, yeah, and I'm gonna be destroyed in 3 days. It's going on for 3 years. He was trying to tell Trump. He's like, yo, we're fighters here.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean I'm not holding all the cards?
Yeah,
we're here 3 years later, man.
And they're gonna continue to fight. And now they have, I believe it's 100% of the European countries behind them.
Yeah.
So America is providing some, equipment. That's what they were providing.
Which they took it away, but they gave it back now.
Yeah. And so all those countries are very, very capable of providing the same amount of equipment so they can battle. And it's going to get a whole lot. Russia is not speaking up on this. They're just letting Trump run with everything.
Yeah. He's the op. That's what we call him in the streets. He's the op.
He is.
He's the opposition.
You don't see anything, hear anything about Putin.
But you ever see that same energy with Putin with Trump? You think Trump will ever touch Putin the way he touched Lizinski?
No.
Hell,
Every time
Putin would knock him out.
Yeah.
He would not give him that same energy. That's what a basic bully is, yo. It goes, he probably thought because he's bigger than Zelensky, he got all his boys around him and he want to play tough. Because I gave you a chance to be tough. Gave me a chance. Yeah.
He guess what?
And people like that, yo. Hey, let me ask you, Charlie,
solid.
do you think Americans love the bad guy? Are we enamored? Like, think about it. Like, Scarface was glorified Scarface, or Pablo Escobar, or all the. You love the bad guy.
Yeah, and that's why Hollywood stays on the bad guy. They're always the best sellers.
That's crazy. And then, but the good guy's the simp. Even girls like the bad guy. They don't want to be the good guy. They say they like the good guy. You know what I'm saying? But they're always attracted to the bad guy. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's an American societal thing. You like the bad guy. You like the loud guy.
The bestseller movies are the kid movies and the bad guy, bad girl movies.
Yep.
Anything in between is just gonna kind of just make it by. They just it doesn't pan out. But that
we like Batman, but we admire Joker.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Even the latest bad Joker movie, they say that was the worst ever.
Yeah.
The Slash one that came out.
Yeah.
But he still made
a lot of money. They love the bad guy. Yeah. They love the bad guy. You see a lot. Denzel Washington, what did he win Academy Award for? Not playing the good guy like Malcolm X.
No.
Which he did an amazing job at it, right? He did a cricket cop, the bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh, we love the bad guy. That's like, really, people need to think that deep on shit. Yeah. You love the bad guy.
And what do? Training day. They always want him to quote it. Every interview with Denzel, they want him to say
King
that.
Kong don't paint it. Come on. They even American Gangster. They love American Gangster. It's the bad guy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Americans, we need to look at ourselves in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? You love to be the bad guy.
Yep.
And then you got this president, you got this ICE enforcer who's trying to be the bad guy. And you think he's cool.
Tomlin, whatever his name.
Yeah. You liked it, like even memorabilia. I was outside the country and they're selling memorabilia of bad people who hurt people, who kill people. You have it on T-shirts, on shot glasses, and everything like that. Yeah. And I'm like, I caught myself. I'm like, yo, you like selling stuff to the bad guy. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not buying that because you like the bad guy. I don't like the bad guy.
It's a true story. Now I can make mugs. I can put anything on it. I honestly said, you know what? I got to make money for the podcast. Let me, you know what? I'm going to put Trump on some coffee mugs. I'll sell them at work. I'll make some money.
It's the bad guy.
And I guarantee you, if I had bring a whole box of mugs in the places that I was working, I guarantee you I would have made more money than my weekly check.
Of course.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
That mug shot. How much money that made people? The bad guy. It's stupid. Like really questioning what you are loving, what y'all paying attention to. It's the bad guy.
Crazy.
It's totally crazy. It's us. We're the problem. It's us. There's no anybody outside this country that's making this country worse to live at. Is us. We're the bad guy. You see it over social media where girls want to act bad, like I don't give a fuck, or even guys too. I don't give a fuck. Being bad. Bad is cool. Mm-hmm. And it's messing up society because where these kids are learning it from. Mm-hmm. They're watching the adults be bad because they think it's cool. So I'm gonna be cool.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah. It's you see people doing bad things because the bad person always gets away with it because they're bad, they're cool. There's fear supposed to be cool. Yeah. No, you can't be nice. You can't be logical. You can't be diplomatic. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not cool. And that's the problem with the Democrats and their messaging. They got to be the bad guy. Yeah. That's why they should have shut down the government. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not saying they should have. They should have just not vote for it and put it on the Republicans for shutting down let them. You got to flip it. It's like we're not the bad guy. We don't have control. Yeah. We didn't make that decision, but you want to be the good guy and make sure you don't shut down the government. But guess who gets the credit is the Republicans. Yeah. They're the good guy, but they're really the bad guy.
Yeah, they are. That bald guy, I call him Fraudulent Fredman. He was on the Democratic campaign and he was rah, rah, rah. We got he talked bad about every single Republican there was, and here he is. Couple opportunities to stay strong and be loyal, and he goes the other direction. But Pennsylvania is gonna find out, right? Is it old Akron? Find out. They're gonna find out.
They're gonna find out.
Yep.
Yeah, they're gonna find out. It's you're in the find out stage. I mean, a lot of these Republican states are finding out now because you thought that you wasn't in federal funding. You was federal funded. Yeah. He goes, this country is a lot of employees, a lot of citizens their jobs are federal type of jobs or funded federally. Yeah.
The Department of Education. How many schools are just in Philadelphia?
Yes.
You've been there, right?
Yeah.
Schools all over the place.
Yes.
It's going to affect so many families and they're going to find out.
Yeah.
And
I don't think you should eliminate the Department of Education. Maybe reallocate certain.
Yeah. Shift it
around.
You put that, shift things around, sift it through, decide what you're going to do, but
Elon Musk has
hundreds and hundreds of people.
Yeah.
It's, thousands really, I forget the number of federal employees that have gone,
you have what Trump said, we're spending millions of dollars to making mice transgender.
Yeah, he totally.
You know
how long that's going to last now? We're going to be old men in nursing homes. That meme is going to last forever.
No, it's transgenetic. There's that
genetic,
ignorance, and people believed it.
Yeah.
They were laughing like it was true. No, this is true. This is true.
And he made a mistake. He misspoke. He misspoke. What are you talking about?
What if Biden did that? Oh, Sleepy Joe,
Yeah,
Sleepy Joe.
He's losing.
Come on, man. And that's what pisses me off, because when Biden misspoke, and Biden had a stuttering problem, and obviously he's getting old, so it's more hard to control. But okay, he's the president. No pass on that. There's more expected from him. I get it. It is embarrassing that a president can't articulate, but when he was younger, he could articulate like a motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
If you listen to him, he knows his shit.
Yeah.
Even though the crime bill was a fucked up bill, but that's a different conversation that we can talk about later on. But
Judge Brown goes on. He gets into Trump. He gets into Biden. Sometimes I think he's out there, but he gets on both of them. He brings up the past that we don't know about.
Yeah.
That he brings all that stuff up.
But no, it's funny, Charlie. But when they talk about Biden, about Obama and how articulate he is. Oh, he could speak, but he's still not good. I'm like, what is it?
Yeah.
Like you're always gonna find something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Have you heard how Elon Musk talks?
Yeah.
He don't speak articulate either.
Oh, he's actually afraid. You can see a fear factor with him.
Yeah.
He probably, everything that he's involved in, he's not speaking. He's probably, if he's speaking, it's something that he might have been in his office and interviewing, a kind of editing so much stuff, but he's definitely not good.
He's like,
that might be his,
like, come on, dude.
Yeah, and that may be his handicap.
Yeah.
But that might all come from that, but they're gonna continue to allow him to come and speak, and
you got a president that can't even speak past a third grade type of language. Then you got this other guy who just mumbles.
But what happened to him? Years ago, Trump was a good speaker. Years ago, when he was in TV, there wasn't any problem.
Maybe because it's hard to be articulate when you're lying.
Yeah. True.
You know what I'm saying?
True. And he could speak. He had a gift of gab. You get in front of the newspaper, and
it's easy to speak on when you're saying something that's true versus what you're lying. Now you're trying to find the words to make it sound like it's true. Yeah. That's especially on the spot. So like, before we end the show, like I want to speak on a thing. So sports wise, did we watch what LeBron James did to Stephen A. Smith when he approached him?
Initially, I was like, I seen it, and I was like, all right, would I go after someone? And I'm thinking as a father, I would say something probably, but Stephen A. was 100% correct with everything that he talks about, and there's more than enough commentators, sportscasters that could stand behind Stephen A. and be telling the same story, or even really get out and really tell some truth about his game. He's struggling in the G League. So how's he's still in the NBA? He's still getting, I don't know when's the last time he played a game, but guys like you and I knew that Bronny wasn't ready for the NBA. We were hesitant when he was going to USC. We said, well, all right, he could play, come off the bench, whatever. He got some playing time there. So I think Stephen A. was definitely on point when he was talking about his game. If he said anything personal about him, Bronny, I don't think so. Although he did say something personally about LeBron and saying it's your fault. You're the one that put him in this position. So I think LeBron would probably take that personal.
But that's what Stephen A. was saying. He was like, that's my son. That's my son. Fuck that. That's my son. yes, LeBron, it is your son, but your son is a professional basketball player.
Yeah.
So he is considered as a professional, a man.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a child.
No.
You put him in that position.
Yeah.
You put him in that position. So yeah, it is your fault. So you don't want me to do my job. And Stephen A's job is basically to talk about the league in which it promotes the league, in which will help make the revenue of the money you make, LeBron, to have that power, to have that influence, to put your son on the same team that y'all playing on, even though he doesn't deserve it.
Yeah.
It's nepotism for your ass. And we understand that happens throughout society. So we respect that. But at the same time, it doesn't go out with judgment. Does he deserve to be in the NBA? Is he the best? I mean, how many players in the league? No, I don't think he's one of the best. And LeBron said he actually is better than most of the people in the NBA.
That's what I
Which
remember. He said
and
that
he
last
said
year.
that. All right,
Yep.
you put that pressure on your son, and your son cannot. The eye test is right there.
Yeah.
So you have to let your son grow up. But that's the whole point. That's the mistake you made where, okay, he's going to college and he's going to USC next to home.
Yeah.
Now you're trying to force him to play for the Lakers next to home, all next to daddy. He goes, you're not allowing him to grow up as a man, as a person, and as a player.
If he had allowed him to go and play overseas, he would have came back doing some of the things that Luka does, not to that level, but you see the European players, their basic basketball skills are on point, almost A plus. Everything they do, from passing to shooting, they're just tremendous players. And he wouldn't have been. That would have been something great for his son to go over there. All right, you don't want to go to college. Well, let's see if we can put you overseas and play. Maybe he wouldn't have made those teams. He also, but I just as the Lakers, they wasn't at a loss no matter what, because they seen the business part of it. The business part of it, and they proved themselves right, is all right, put Bronny on this team. We put Bronny's name in the back, and we sell $40 million worth of jerseys, merchandise. $40 million. Off a team that they didn't have any expectations that they want to do anything, because their salaries can't do anything. They can't trade anybody. Nobody wants those contracts. So, but they come out of it and they got $40 million. And then somebody named Nico Hardy came along and made it even better for them. And he put Luka on there, because LeBron's going and Luka's going to be in place.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going to go there. Kyrie went to Dallas because of Luka. And people are going to go to LA for Luka.
Oh, no question. I mean, and people will go to LA just because it's LA.
Yeah.
Like, I always believe that, people want to, compare LA as a good run organization. I digress. I don't think so. They're not like Boston is a good organization, because it's very hard for them to get free agencies to go there.
Yeah.
It's easy for the Lakers to get free agency because it's LA. So Boston's been good for so long, all these years, because they're a well organized organization, versus LA. You're just in LA.
Mm-hmm.
You take that same organization, run the same way, and bring it to like Oklahoma City. It's not LA. It's not the Lakers.
No.
The Lakers became the Lakers when they moved from Minneapolis to LA.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They weren't that same organization when they were in Minnesota. So I mean, LeBron, he went there because of the whole off the court opportunities, and I don't blame him. I get it. I totally get it. But I think it's getting to his head where you're approaching this person on he's on floor seats and you're doing it in front of everybody.
Yeah.
You could have called him, or you could say, "Hey, listen, at the end of the game, meet me out back. I want to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Or meet me in the locker room. I want to have a conversation with you." You're doing it in front of the cameras and try to flex your muscles. You know what I'm saying?
Did
Like,
before the game. He has his phone.
Yeah, come on.
He got his phone. He could have called Stephen A.
Say, "Hey, come back to the locker room. I need to speak to you about a couple of things."
Yeah, it's but that's him. That's why King Flop. It's
It's
nothing strong. He's more strong as a high school athlete than anything in the pros right now. You know, he turns it on and off when he wants to. But the flopping stuff is just crazy. It's just but I'm on Stephen A's ship right now. You know, I thought that everything he said was right, and LeBron, it's very hard for me to even side with him most of the time.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
I liked him when he was in Cleveland. You know, after that, it's kind of it's a toss up. Can I talk to you about this my music?
Yeah, go ahead.
How much time we got?
We got enough time.
All right. I as you know, I've been getting into music and writing and putting my poetry into music, and it's been a great thing. And the reason why I'm doing this is because it was something that was on my bucket list. And sometimes we you know, as we look for professionals to kind of, you know, maybe sing our songs or play some music behind it, it's like pulling teeth, you know. And so we can't count on the local artists or professionals, period, to do anything for you as a songwriter because they usually outprice themselves. You know, all right, you know, $300, I'll see what I can do. Or, well, I came across AI,
Yeah.
and AI has been able to put vocals to my songwriting along with music, and it's a fascinating thing. I learned a lot, especially about songwriting, and I just want to put it out there that don't let anybody kind of hold your dreams back. You know, if they don't want to do anything, find another way. Be innovative and find a way of doing things and getting things out there. Um, and it's only been a few weeks, you know, and I have 49 songs already done.
We should end a song. Let's like we got a couple of minutes, right?
Yeah.
Do you have your song on your phone?
Yeah.
Where's that connection with the iPhone connection? I hope it's around here somewhere. Hold on, because we're gonna play some of the songs that Charlie has wrote and created for himself. Hold on one second. It's gotta be around here, that connection. Now, Charlie, I heard these songs that he is talking about. Is that it right there? No. Hold on. It's gotta be around here. I hope. Or you can send it to this phone. Hold on. What's your phone number? Hold on. This wasn't planned, ladies and gentlemen. But I want Charlie to get his love because he writes some good songs, man. We cannot find nothing in this place. Once again. What's your phone number?
774
774
992
992
2769.
992 2769. All right, I'm just gonna text you this number and send it to me through this number. This is live, baby. We live, baby. We live. Yeah, I want everyone to hear Charlie. He has a talent for writing poetry, writing songs. And he stumbled. I don't know if he stumbled, but he's using his AI technology to implement his words into music, which is an amazing tool. You know, it's almost like he has his own digital producer. And like if he could pick the genre that he wants, he's writing for. Say if he's writing a blues song, they can make it into a blues song. Did it make the arrangement of the words and everything like that?
Yeah.
Arrangement of the words. So he's actually going to be working on a new theme song, a new intro song for the Frequency Live. And also, as he's sending me this, go to the WMB1 radio website and go follow the record wall. It's a new thing that WMB1 is doing where we're gonna have all kind of different artists in the record wall. Like it's almost like a tiny desk thing where you having live music performing in this room that is full of records, and it's called the record wall where people, it's a great idea. And so if you're any aspiring artist or a artist, there's a contact information on WMB1.com to get in contact with people that you can highlight your music. And I was there, they when they filmed the first one, and it was amazing, man. And like it just like it was some good artists, there was some good music, and there's a lot of talent to show out there, you know what I'm saying? So the record wall is like a tiny desk thing where they sing live, and you just the mic surrounded by a wall of records, and you just got to sing live, bringing back that good live music back.
There's a bass player in the city. I can't find him. I gotta find him so he can go up there. He's tremendous.
Yeah,
amazing young man. You know.
Yeah, the record wall. So go follow him on Instagram and all social media outlets. The record wall or go on to WMB1.com, and the link will be on that website there. So did you send me anything?
Yeah, I did.
Let me see. Okay, I want to play. This is a song. What's this song called, Charlie?
It's called "I Mean It."
I Mean It. Now, what genre is it?
R&B.
R&B. So you wrote this song.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Make sure the volume's up. Because I want people to really hear this. All right. It was it called again?
I Mean It.
I Mean It. So let's listen to a song called "I Mean It" from Charlie Perry, help with the AI technology. It's amazing. Listen to it.
Be it love or anger, my heart's unmistakable. In my emotions, I'm unwavering and unshakable. Know my words to be real, and know that I mean just what I say. I don't need the games, or do I need the temporary temptations? I need to be for real, for me, truly for me, but it could be for you. For you. Take my hand or release me. Love and life for me must be meaningful. You and I is the wonderful I see. You and I is the separation I hate. Be it love or anger, my heart's unmistakable. In my emotions, I'm unwavering and unshakable. Know my words to be real, and know that I mean just what I say. I mean it, I mean it. I always seen it as love or hate, with you or without you. I mean it, I mean it. I always seen it as love or hate, with you or without you. You and I. You and I is the wonderful I see. You and I was the wonderful.
Wow, Charlie.
Yeah, I had fun doing it.
Wow.
Now, the craziest thing is, it's my poetry, uh, and you kind of put it in the right format, verse, chorus, so on and so forth, and I enjoy doing it. But I'm also doing blues.
Mm.
So you've been in the back of the band club, right?
Mm-hmm.
And where the stage is, that's called the teak room.
Yep.
So my blues album is Blues from the Teak Room.
Ooh.
And it's all inspirational, like when I was a kid sitting there or an adult and just listening to different music, whether it's Creole music, jazz, whatever. And they always had a good setting in there, people talking and, jamming. And so when I was thinking of a name, I thought of that. And everything I do is try to give some credibility to New Bedford, Massachusetts, or the Cape Verdean community, Black community. There's always something. I'm always trying to have some civic pride or heritage pride or something like that. So, but yeah, it's out. Will be released this weekend coming up Saturday. It's already on Amazon Music.
So it's a whole album?
Well, the blues one, it's a whole album. 7 songs. I was going to put more in it, but I just tried with 7. And
can we highlight each song on the Frequency Live so we can give people or how do you want to handle that?
I could I could definitely
we could talk about that.
Yeah,
we could talk about that. I think to give it people to listen to it.
Yeah,
publicly, and get more listeners and people interested in your music. That was great. I mean,
thank you.
It's like the process of making music has changed over the years, especially with technology. But at the end of the day, it still needs that human element, that human motion, especially when it comes to R&B music, blue music, because it's an emotional base. Even how you sing it.
Yeah.
A lot of artists today, they'll just go through the emotions and sing it, but not sing it. You still got to sing it with emotion. That's why I love Michael Jackson so much, because he was a perfectionist. If it was a sad song, you want to hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that song. What was that song?
By who?
Michael Jackson goes, so I've learned that love is my possession. What's that song? As I've learned. She's out of my life. She's out of my life. And when he sang that song, it's like, damn, she left him hurt.
I don't know who it was, but he did.
She did him dirty. He was almost crying.
Yeah.
Like, it's even the song that there's a TikTok challenge from Chris Brown's song Residuals. If anyone have heard R. Kelly's version, right? But I've been listening to that song, and even way Chris Brown singing, it's emotional. You know what I'm saying? Tell me who, like who you're giving your love, like the subject of love will never go out of style.
Oh.
It's not, and people may think it's corny. It's not corny because everybody feels that emotion, but nobody's singing about it anymore.
I highly recommend everyone going on R&B Money podcast.
Yes.
And listening to that Chris Brown interview.
Yes.
And you'll get a better perception of that young man. Very talented.
Yeah.
And well deserved everything that he has in life. And
I still think because he's not, he wasn't singing about love as much.
Yeah.
Is keeping him down. He could be like, he can be bigger than Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But he got to tap into his real emotions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that will put him over the top, where I think he could surpass Michael Jackson because he is that talented.
He is.
You know, but I don't put him above Michael for that particular reason.
Yeah.
You know, because he started getting a little bit of hip hopish, but I think he's coming back to the R&B side, because we want to hear you sing.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, and singing about love does not go out of style.
His Christmas song, we put that on every year in the house.
Mm-hmm.
We
Christmas, yeah,
it's just crazy.
And that's become the new Mariah Carey one,
Yeah,
right? It is, yo. It's gonna age well. That song is good. It doesn't get old. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in Christmas is all about the love of family and everything like that. And you know, like my favorite producer is Babyface.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's funny. I was reading something in the comments of a Babyface video, because it was a video of Babyface performing, but in his act he lets people know all the songs that he produced and written for, and you don't really know how many hits. And people say, yo, the one person that could probably match up with R. Kelly is Babyface.
Yeah.
With the hits. I'm like, and he might win.
Yeah.
He might actually win, you know?
Tremendous interview. I love him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep.
It's just, he's definitely, and he struggled in the beginning. You know? So people don't realize that somebody that great, people were turning away.
Mm-hmm.
How do you turn that man away? I mean,
it's see, I was that guy when I was younger. I love music where you can ask my mother about this. I could just watch MTV. I couldn't follow. Like, I used to fall asleep. What I used to do is I used to fall asleep to an album. Let's play the music. And how I fell asleep was I'll create a video in my head of each song that came on, you know, because remember videos used to have a story and it would be like almost like a mini movie type thing. And I used to love watching videos and watching the story and listen to the songs. And like, I was entertained by that. I was that person where I'll buy a CD and I would read the credits. I want to know who were the producers, the executive producers, the writers. You see all, and read the lyrics so I could really learn the songs. And I got to understand the importance of the producer outside. You would think it's the artist that's literally producing, right? Like, no, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that are creating this project. Like, I'm looking at the Bobby Brown album right there, and Babyface wrote a lot of songs. Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Teddy Riley. These are legendary producers that created a legendary album. Bobby Brown's "Don't Be Cruel" album, from the first song to the last song, was great.
Yeah, you didn't. Well, back then I didn't take the cassette out.
Yeah, right there. I'm telling you, it's, you know, that was the era when Al B. Shore and New Edition, and it's so many good music, and that shows you good producers, you know. So it's like, you know, and good writers. I think there's not many good writers now.
Yeah.
I don't think that you don't really like. I was at a Biggie brunch in Providence last week, and they were playing that era of the Notorious B.I.G., you know, the early 90s. And the music back then, you know, and people forget that during hip hop, they were sampling a lot of like 70s music, 70s, late 60s music, and they were you know, like so many like.
Shanice was talking about it this week about how people are sampling her music, and she's happy.
Yeah. And that's where
and it's crazy how much money they're making off of those little in music. You know?
And it could be like no, the song ABC, like the first part is the beat goes don't, and Jermaine Dupri, just that first 2 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds of that beat, he made the song jump, but he just looped it, don't like that, and that was the beat for the song Jump for Crisscross. You know what I'm saying? So if producers listen, how the 90s were producing sampling 70s, 60s music, sample 80s, 90s music.
Exactly.
Do that, and it bridges the genre where it's gonna help you sell your music more. 80s had a lot of good music that a lot of people are not sampling.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that a lot of people will get into, you know. So I mean, that's great what you did, Charlie. Like, I know we got to play more of your music, put it out there. So any artists that's inspiring artists want to contact you to write for them. Like I even directed my brother. My brother wants to do an album, and I was like, listen, you got to put a team together, get some writers, get some good writers, and he has you right there. Your asset is like, hey, can you write a couple songs for me? Here, this is the beat. He write it to it, and he does what he needs to do to it, and go from there. Because when I was reading the credits when I bought CDs, I saw a lot of names as far as writers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Implementing things.
And some of those names are probably some of the richest people in the music industry now, you know?
Yeah.
Because producing, writing is definitely something. Producing is the thing to do.
Yeah.
But writing is definitely, you know, you get that right hit, man, paycheck after paycheck.
Oh, yeah. It keeps on coming.
Yeah.
Keeps on coming. So press this.
This one?
Yep.
Is this the end? I gotta know. I gotta know. I gotta know. Is this the end?
Yes, it's another episode of the Frequency Live podcast radio show. This is the end, man. So it was just me and Charlie today. We never done this, man. It was good. It was a good show.
Good show, man. We you know, well, if I say we should do it more often, that means Derek and Edmund won't be here.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Yeah. So the whole crew will be back, minus Jasmine. Jasmine, she gotta just handle her business show. Like she just couldn't commit like she wanted to, and I understand, respect that. She was a great addition to the show. She's welcome back anytime. You know, the pushback she gave, you know, female perspective. I want to get a female perspective on the show, again, but maybe I could rotate. You know, because there's a lot of females have approached me and talked to me that they want to be on the show, and I'm open to that.
Yeah,
you know, I'm definitely open to that. I would like them because I would like to have their perspective. I really, really, really do. So we'll work on that. But right now we have our crew here. We're gonna be back here next week with the whole crew, and speaking everything political, social, musically. Giving our opinions. We got to fix this chat room here. We got to start taking calls. I want to get back into the Frequency Cafe. If you want to highlight your poetry or your music, you could do that too. And then we got a lot of things coming up. We're gonna change our theme song. Charlie's gonna work that. His intro song, he's gonna work on that. And there's a lot of things coming up. There's also got a lot of people that says they want to come on the show as a guest.
True.
Some prominent people in the community that will be a great conversation. So what do you think, Charlie?
No, they're gonna be good guests and good conversation, and I think we'll be able to have their wind down personality come out here. Excuse the pun, but and be high in frequency, because I think that they'll be comfortable here, be able to talk about different things, and so can't wait.
Yeah. So I like to thank all our listeners and watchers. You know something, Charlie? I'm gonna end the show. Like, everybody go to the WMB1, like download the WMB1 app. Go there right now. Download the WMB1 app. And so, because we're gonna get offline on Facebook Live, but we are going to play Charlie's song once again on the radio station. We might have to try to get B Mag to get some of your songs in rotation. That's what, you know what I'm saying? You know, like highlight some local artists and put them in rotation. I think we got to work on that too. I mean, that'll be a good thing to get your local artist music in rotation. And that'll even get more listeners to the radio station. So download the WMB1 radio app, and don't forget to check out the record wall on WMB1.com. So right now we're going to log off of Facebook Live, but we are definitely going to play Charlie's song once again before we say goodbye to all our listeners and our watchers. Listen to his great music that he created. This song is called, again, I keep on forgetting, I Mean It, from Tyler Perry. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll be back next week. Have a good night.